This week on the Frankly Nuts podcast, we are joined by Neville Donoghue. Neville Donoghue is the man behind BenchWarmers.ie. BenchWarmers.ie is a sports banter website based in Ireland. They are known for flying it pretty close to the sun in terms of banter, and Neville will tell you that himself. But one thing's for sure, love them or hate them, you can't deny the online presence these guys have built up. With over 4 million people following them on social media, we sit down and chat to Nev about this phenomenal rise. We chat to Nev about the really interesting story of how BenchWarmers actually formed, about doing something you love to do all day every day, about building a team around you, and also some mistakes made and lessons learned along the way. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the 29th episode of the Frankly Nuts podcast.
So guys, welcome back to the Frankly Nuts podcast. This week we're joined by none other than Neville Donoghue. Nev, how are you getting on?
Neville Donoghue, I think.
Donoghue.
Jesus, what a start.
Off on the wrong foot already.
Hey, slip it.
You're grand.
What's the crack, Nev?
How are you guys?
Not too bad, no.
Not
Not
too
too bad.
We were actually meant to do this one last week, weren't we? But
Snowmania.
And we were snowed under.
No, sure. It was freakish, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was crazy.
But sure, as I said to you off camera there, we're going to have to get used to it because it's probably going to happen more and more often.
Absolutely.
So how's life anyway? The Frankly Nuts is going good anyway.
It's going alright, I
Tipping
suppose.
away, yeah. We're happy
What's
with
this
how it's
episode,
going.
29?
Episode 29, yeah.
I actually thought it was 30 earlier, I was saying too, but
Yeah.
29.
Hard to believe we've done 29 already, like they've flown by.
And we actually gave Nev a mug and filled it with coffee, but unfortunately he's not a coffee or tea drinker. I think possibly the first guest.
The first one, yeah.
It's very
we
rare,
converted Jason Wood there. He wasn't a coffee drinker. He loved it after us, but we can't convert you.
I think it's kind of like once you have a few Guinnesses, you get used to it. Like,
Yeah.
But I never built up the taste of coffee, so I just left it. Like, So I don't know, but I think there's a lot of bad and good in coffee, I was told. So it's not for me anyway.
You always stay cleared, like
yeah.
So like what I suppose your big venture has been over time is BenchWarmers.ie, and you're the brainchild behind it, I suppose. So like there's a good story behind how it started. Like I know we were chatting to you last summer and stuff. Do you want to take us through maybe how you got going with it?
Yeah, well, look, I suppose the name of your podcast is Frankly Nuts, so I suppose, like, first off, thanks for having me on it, and I'll be frankly honest with you on the podcast. But it's nice that, like, I'm actually happy. Like, to be honest with you, I wouldn't do many of these things because I prefer to stay behind the brand, you know. Because for me, BenchWarmers is not just about Neville Donoghue or Rowan Megan or Rory Manny, the other two lads who run with me. It's about the brand, you know, and especially when you might be ripping the piss out of Liverpool one week and Man United next, you don't want to be putting a face to that, like. But that's only like banter, like, you know. But yeah, it started really like I was I'm from Youghal myself, and a lot of people think it started as a student project. It didn't. Just clarify that. No, because like it's like. You see fellas,
everyone thinks
you see
like
people saying on Twitter, and I'm like, you didn't like it.
It's arcing at you a bit like that.
I'm like, that's like, would they get their facts right if they're going to say that, like, you know? But it's I'm from Youghal, and we got a local radio station, Community Radio Youghal, and it started as a sports show on a Sunday evening called the BenchWarmers. Myself and Aaron Kinney, we did it. Another buddy of mine from Youghal, and then what? Then we did it every Sunday evening. We got some big guests on. We got John Delaney, the head of the FAI, on before. We had a few inter-county players on from GA, and I must say, like, and not just lip service, but like one thing I will say about the GA, like, is that we have homegrown big stars in this country in GA, and they're very approachable and very like to be fair now, when we were starting off, to be honest with you, the best fit I ever interviewed really was Clinton Hennessy, the former Waterford goalie. I thought he was very nice, and I must say, like, the two Prendergasses from Ardmore as well, they were very good, and Davy Russell did a few stuff for us, and and Dave O'Callaghan and John Ryan, two Munster players. So, like, you know, like, unfortunately, like, you were very lucky, you know, you got Shawnee Maguire on, and it was great, he scored last night, but, like, rugby as well, they're fairly approachable, but GA are very much approachable, you know. So we did that on a Sunday evening. Then it kind of started off as a passion. Then I started up a Facebook page, a Twitter, and all that. Then it kind of developed online, and I was all doing this as I did business here at CIT, I wasn't a model student by any means. Hated
Like
the
us,
thing, like,
None of us are really, are we?
but there's an interesting point, I suppose, from this, that you don't have to be top of the class to be, like, there's other interests for people that don't like, I just wasn't academic, like, it wasn't that I was stupid, like, it just wasn't for me.
You weren't interested in it, like,
but like, so then I did 2 years in CIT, I repeated 1 year, did business, and then I took a year out, and I worked in Abtran, the call centre, for a year, and in that time I built up BenchWarmers, and then, but the reason I worked in Abtran as well is because I saved up enough money and I wanted to go travelling for a year, and I did TEFL, teach English as a foreign language. It's a great thing. I'd advise any young person that finishes college that doesn't know what to do that for a year. So I went to Thailand for a year teaching English, and I loved it, like, but when I went to Thailand, the radio show obviously had to kind of come to a halt, and so then basically I just kept working on it online, and then the likes kept going up, like, like as you say, you're trying now to build the likes, like, you know, because for me, I think it's all about a snowball effect. Once you get it to a certain height, it looks after itself. Then, you know.
The content carries it, like,
so the numbers kept going up, and then I had a year in Thailand. I could have stayed on and did more, but I said, look, if I don't come back and finish off the final year business, I'd regret it. I wanted to get the honours degree, and I wanted BenchWarmer starting to take off, and I wanted to try and have a right good go off it. And so I came back, luckily enough, got the honours degree, and the BenchWarmers was still growing. And then I came to the Rubicon Centre, and George Bullman, who was very good to me, got me into the Student Inc. from June to July. You know what? You get like 4 or 5 grand for 3 months, you know. Do that. Then come September, George let me stay on. Like, obviously I didn't get any more money, but which was a pity. But he let me stay on anyway, and then I just kept building it. And then I got a bit of business in the door from a few pubs inside in town. But then one thing came clear, that I couldn't do it all on my own, you know.
You needed someone, like,
I'd go in and try and get businesses, and then I'd be missing out on stuff online, you know. I need to get something. So then myself, George sat down and said, look, get together a business plan here, and we'll see. Then we'll throw it out to a few people and see if people take the bite, you know. And met with a few newspapers, met with a few angel investors. And then finally I met with the Irish Examiner, and I was in the Rubicon for a year. So then basically I decided, look, I'm going to have to team up with someone here, like, and I decided to team with the Examiner because, all right, they're a print media, but they're a media, and they have experience in this, like, you know, because I said I go off and get an angel investor, and like, before you know it, you'd have $1 million spent, like, you know, you would, like, because
they might have the experience to help you then either, like.
By the time you get staff, office, the whole lot, like, you know. And to be fair to the Examiner, like, they've largely let me work away. They've been a good backer, and it's been good to date. But that's the story, really, like, you know. I'm happy, like, as I said, it started as a hobby down in Youghal. I'm mad into sports. I love every sport, really. Well, don't ask me about cricket. You know? But like, I
think that's the one we all avoid. It's never nice.
But and then I just went from a passion to a hobby, and now I'm happy to say it's a full-time job where we have 2 fellas employed with me, and Pierce was employed with as well. Now we're taking on another fella, so like, it's grown the whole time. Our numbers are going up. But it's changing environment the whole time, like, as we were just talking off here. Like, I see Mark Zuckerberg during the week, he put up an announcement that for 2018, he wants people on Facebook to see more friends and family and less brands on Facebook. So you have to keep thinking in new ways. But then we're lucky our Instagram is flying it, you know.
So that's the business platform.
And then we've other different pages, like, we don't just have the BenchWarmers page. We've the biggest GA page on Facebook, GA Crack. We've a rugby page called Rugby Fights and Pig. It's not the most brand friendly at the moment, but it's good for the boys, like, you know. But hopefully that's another. I'm hoping the Rugby World Cup is next year, so that's something we can utilise. We have a darts page, we have a golf page. So really, and I think also we have a small team, but I like having a small team of lads you can trust, you know, and lads that you know have your back, you know.
A tight circle,
you know, because but like that's it really in a nutshell, and it's going up the whole time, and I'm just I'm making it up as I go along, you know? But it's it's the numbers are going up and it's progressing the whole time, and we just have to keep at it, and hopefully it'll come to something. But look, at the moment we're doing well, we're making a living off it, and it's great, you know.
And that's where I think it's so admirable, like that it started as a hobby, went to a passion, and now it's a full-time business. Like any young person out there who has something like to look to yourself like, and that's...
Well, I think, like, to be honest with you, I think the secret in life, really, to be honest, I think, is that you find something you like and then you go with it, like, you know, like doesn't, like, in fairness, I live with a bunch of lads there on College Road, and it's not a student house now, we're all working, like, you know. Those days I've had enough of the student
Still
days,
clinging on there, living on College Road.
But there's two of the lads I live with, and like, they hate their job, like, you know, and they're like, we're in the majority, like, you know, and the sad thing is there are a lot of people that do hate their job, like I'm one of the lucky ones that does like what I do, like,
you get up and you have a pep in the step, like,
you know. But then there's bad days as well, like not to go, but like you can make mistakes then and things can just blow up, like, you know.
That's
like,
the thing with social media, like, you could take one post and it's...
one post, like, if the three of us are out having a drink tonight in the pub, right, and I make a bad joke in front of you, it stays between the three of us. But if you make, and like the problem with us as well, we have a small team, and you're posting every half hour. So how many posts is that? A day, a week, a month, right? You're bound to make one F up, like, you know. And when you make that F up, everyone jumps on you, like anything. Like you saw there, like what happened to George Hook a few months ago, like, you know, like I actually big fan of him as a pundit, you know, but he made one mistake and like people just jumped on him, like, you know, and I thought it was actually pretty lousy. Like, all right, what he said was probably wrong, like, but like, Christ, like,
we're all human,
you know, people make mistakes. Like we've had some beauties, like, you know.
Do you have any examples for us?
Can you delve?
I got a few, like during the summer now, like, you know, like Joe Canning, who I like, I think he's a national treasure, like, you know. Of course, like, to be honest, I deserve this one, like, you know. But he was,
it's great that you're
in the semi-final against, was it Tipperary? He wasn't playing well in the first half, and I put up a stupid meme going, things that disappear when you need them the most, your car keys, your phone, and Joe Canning, like, you know. And that wasn't true, like, you know, to be fair to him. But one thing I will say is he wasn't having a great first half. First even 50 minutes, and even Ger Loughnane said it that night in the Sunday game. But the way we said it was wrong, you know. And then, of course, when he got the winning point, everyone.
He probably saw the meme at half time. I'd say it.
He probably did.
That's part of it,
you know. So, but like, look, these things happen, like, you know. I'm sure if Joe Cannon saw it, look, he's old enough. He's not stupid enough, like, you know, to get. It was just, and to be honest with you, a lot of, like, I don't mind people having their opinions, you know, but a lot of people that were having cuts and digs off us were like a few bitter people, like, you know, and like I'm not going to, for fear of embarrassing them, I'm not going to name them, like, you know. But then we've had other mistakes as well, where, like, geez, there was one there a year ago, because like your viewers did enjoy this, like, you know.
I know it.
We put up, it was the time Benitez was managing Madrid, I think, and they lost in the Champions League final, I think it was, and we put up a picture of Rafa crying, or no, it was when he went to Newcastle, and Madrid won the Champions League and Rafa was managing Newcastle at the time, and we put up a picture of Rafa crying, and it was like, the caption was, when you go from Champions League to Championship, you know, and that picture of him crying was at the Hillsborough Memorial, and like everyone just slaughtered us, like, you know, and it's fair enough, like, but like
you weren't using it in that context, like,
you know, like, who in their right mind would pull the piss out of something like that, like, you know? So, but look, these things happen, as I said, like, the interesting thing about it is, like, the people behind this, we're only all human, like, you know, you make mistakes, like,
and you learn from it then,
you hope to learn from them, like, you know, and move on, like.
And when you put it online like that as well, like, I know you can delete tweets or whatever, but once it's up, like, it's up, it's there, you know, someone screenshots and it's gone, especially you've probably, across the board, you've millions of likes and followers, I suppose.
Yeah, like, in total now, I'm happy to say we've about 3 or 4 million people following us, and another thing, like, is that we didn't buy any pages or buy any followers. Like what you see there is grown from the ground up, you know. So like, because I see a few of my competitors, they've bought followers, like, you know, and that's fair enough. But to be honest, that says how poor their content is really, that they have to go out and buy followers, like, you know. Yeah. But then, like, we get fellas having cuts off us then as well, that we go around and rob everything, like, you know. And to be honest, like, we don't do that either, like, you know. Like, sometimes when we put up a joke, it's very actually hard to find where we found it from, like, you know. Like, it's like a knock-knock joke, who actually originally came up with it, you know. But like, if someone sends a message into the page that's belonged to us, like, we'll happily credit them, like, you know, and rectify it. No, maybe back in the day I might have put up something and haven't credited them, but at that time I was in college, I was travelling, I was doing a whole load of things, and not just that either, like, Facebook weren't policing it as much. So like, but to be fair, we don't want to be that, like, you know. We want to have the fun and have the banter, and obviously there's a line you can't cross. And we want to have the fun and we want to have the banter, but we also want to give due credit to fellas when they put up something, like, you know, because when you think of it, it's only fair really if you spent an hour or two creating this class video, and then these fellas come along and rob it and stick it up, you know. Or if like, sure, how would you like after this interview, you know, someone else stuck it up and claimed it was theirs, like, Frankie Balls or something. Claimed it was there.
Pissed off, right? Like,
So, you know, but look, you live and learn, as they say, like, you know.
And you mentioned you've a team now and stuff, and you post every half an hour, you were saying. How do you manage that then? Like, do you kind of do split shifts and stuff? Just because, like, I know ourselves, like, you know, we'd be in contact with each other when we're doing a post, and we might both kind of come together. Do you know, is there a bit of that, or does kind of every fella have his own leeway to post? Or
no, like, to be honest, we try and keep it structured, like, you know, because there's nothing worse when you post the same thing then at the same time. You know, it looks amateur, like, you know. But like you're only learning, like, you know, and like I had to learn as well. I've learned everything in life the hard way, being honest with you. But what we do now is I make out a timetable every Sunday evening, and so everyone knows their hours for the week ahead. So Wednesday now is normally my day off. I took a spin down to Yall to enjoy the seaside. But like, I make out the timetable on a Sunday evening, and so like, say one of the lads be covering Monday 9 to 4, and then someone be covering 4 to 11, and that's how we do it 7 days a week, you know. So, but it's, and then we have a WhatsApp group, and so say one of the lads now, he's got soccer training tonight, so I'm going back covering him now for the Champions League. So that's fair enough, you know. But that's like, you just try and, but the whole time, you just try and you learn as you go along, you know, and like you try and think of new ways to make it better. And but now we have a timetable, and everyone just goes by that every week, really, like, you know. So. And
you know the way you're talking about covering the Champions League tonight. Sorry for cutting you off. No. You're covering the Champions League tonight. Like, I presume a big thing for you is like being the first. So if a big event happens in the game, that you're the first to breaking the news or breaking the event or taking the piss out of it or whatever. And like, who are your kind of main competitors then and stuff? Would you have, like, kind of like, we'll say Pundit Arena, Joel Ali, 42? Is it all them kind of fellas?
I'd say Sport Bible more than
Sport Bible,
competitors. You know, like, to be honest, we're gone fairly big in the UK now, I'm happy to say. We got 2 million fans on Facebook. We got well over 700,000 on Instagram, you know. So like, we don't call, we don't, we're just BenchWarmers, we're not .ie anything, you know? So we're trying to go global and make it as big as we can. But Sport Bible will be our competitors, and like, what we're all trying to do is get the stuff up first, you know. But like, also obviously, you have to be careful then as well, because what's the name of the Italian footballer that died?
David Story,
Like, when you're putting up stuff like that, you have to be accurate too, you know, because if you put it up that he's dead and he's not dead, like, you get in the world.
And that happens a lot lately, like, there's a lot of celebrity hoax.
It does, because you're like, it's as, like, you know, you have to have standards too, or you have to have morals as a publisher, you know, because it's about, obviously you want to get there first. But you can't say a fella's dead and he's not dead, like, you know. Like, another thing, like, a young fella sent a video to me before of David Myler out in the sauce in Cork City one night, like, you know. And like, I could have got a lot of hits off that, but I didn't post it because the fella's entitled to enjoy a few points.
Exactly,
too, like,
but it's home especially, like,
you know. So, but then there's like, there's other stuff you are going to pull the piss out of, like, you know, like, I hope John Terry ain't listening, like, but, you know, you're obviously
I don't think so.
yeah, you know, but like, there's stuff there that, like, you know, you probably will have a bit of a laugh off, like, you know, because like, let's be honest, we all talk about it too, like, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
and as a Liverpool fan as well, I always see you take the piss out of Liverpool. It's hard to watch. Like.
it's funny though, we're giving them massive praise now at the moment, like, you know, and, like,
Salah and
yeah, but like, what's funny is as well, like, I remember when Liverpool were going for the league, we gave him a load of praise, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is clearly a Liverpool fan page." And then the minute Steven Gerrard slipped, we gave it to Liverpool, like, you know. And everyone was like, "What's gone wrong here?" Like, you know. So like, you're just trying to get the banter the whole time, like, you know, and keep it and not cross the line, you know. But but the other thing I'd say as well, like, you have to be careful what you publish, like, you know. You have to have morals, like, you know. Like, there was another thing. I won't name the news outlet in Ireland, but he was Minister for Finance at one stage. I think Brian Lennon was, right? He died a few years ago of cancer, like, you know. I remember hearing this. When he got cancer, the newspaper published it before he even got to tell his family. Like, that's wrong, like, you know. Like, there's stuff there that you have to, obviously, you make mistakes and you apologise for them. But like, you should know that that's wrong. You know,
I suppose people can get so caught up in breaking the news, like, and being the first to the punch, like, but fucking hell.
And then, like, you should be careful. Like, it's funny, like, we get like, sometimes then some women to be given out to us like stink, like, because we might put up a picture of a hot girl, like, you know. But like, we put up pictures of Sonny Bill Williams with his top off before, like, you know. People forget that, like, and like, the other thing is as well, like I'm far from anti-women or something, like, you know, because like, if anyone actually knows me, we come from a shop in Youghal, and it was run by my mother and now my two aunties, you know, and like, they're probably the strongest women people I've ever come across, like, you know. So I'm the last person to be anti-women, like, you know. And if you're on about hot ones, if you're on Instagram, those girls putting up the hot pics themselves, like, you know. So like it's like,
once you give them the credit, you're all
you know? But like, and then like, a girl asked me the other day, is that, oh, do you employ any women, like, you know? It's not that we're against employing women. It's that like if a girl is mad into sports and gets the banter and she has what it takes, I don't care, like, you know. So like, we're always like even the two lads that run the website with me now, like, you know, I didn't know them before we started the website. You know, I'm not in it for looking after jobs for the boys, like, you know. I'm looking for who can come in and add something to this and keep it growing, like,
who matches your passion.
So whoever, like, male or female, if they got what it takes, well and good, like, you know.
Exactly.
So,
And what I wanted to touch on was your point. Like, you were saying, every Sunday evening you write the rota, let's say, for the week. But like, imagine now you had a B weekend, because this happens. Like, you might have Liverpool United, you have the El Clasico in the evening, a massive UFC event that night. Are you all hands on deck then, like the 4E, or is it?
No, what we do now is like, we double up sometimes, like, you know, because there's a lot to be covered. You have to cover the Twitter, the Facebook, the website, and the Instagram, you know. So like, tonight now, from 7:30 on, I'll be covering all four for like an hour, you know. But like I've been at it now a long time, so you'll be under a small bit of pressure, but I'm used to it, like,
you have a bit of an art to it now, kind of thing, like,
But like, when Rowan then is back from his soccer training, he'll be helping me then with the Facebook and the website, and I'll cover the Instagram, Twitter for him, you know. So it's just about working smart, really, like, you know. Like, if I was you as well, like, if there's a big thing happening, make sure the two of you are on it then, like, you know. But then say on a Monday during the day, or that's why I take my day off on a Wednesday, because there's nothing really happening, like, you know. But on a Saturday, Sunday, it's all hands on deck, like, you know?
The sporting Saturday.
You know.
And would you ever find, like, I know you cover a lot and stuff, would you ever just find, like, your head get melted with the whole thing, like, you know, there's just so much to be fucking going at, like
the lads in the house are like, Jesus, do you ever get sick of watching soccer, like, you know? Like when you take it this, like, you have Man United Palace Monday, you have Champions League Tuesday, Thursday, you have Europa League, Tuesday, Wednesday, you have Europa League then Thursday, and now like Fridays, Johnny night, you really have off, and then it's back at it then again Saturday.
And they're starting to bring in more Premier League games on a Friday and stuff like that.
And the darts is back, isn't it? Is the darts league back or something?
Like, there's always sport on, but like, I'm lucky that like I love it, like, you know. And like, the funny thing is like I remember people, like, I'm in this position because like I know about sports as well, you know. I could, like, my sports are soccer, GA, rugby, golf, tennis, they'd be my big ones. Like I like the darts as well. And then apart from that, like, alright, snooker I wouldn't be a big fan of. I'd watch the snooker's alright. I'd watch the athletics when they're on.
Yeah.
But the ones I named are the ones I'd be passionate about, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And like I have a good general knowledge of all of them, like, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just mad into sports and I love what I do, like, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And you were saying you were taken as a Liverpool fan page front stage. Can I ask, who do you actually support yourself?
Jeez, I don't know. I don't know should I ever say that, but look, to be honest, I follow Chelsea. So.
Oh yeah.
I follow them though. Let's make this clear.
They never get the piss with them
before they got the money.
Yeah. That's the line that always comes after I follow Chelsea.
It claims to be a Chelsea fan as well. Like.
I remember there was like, actually, believe it, when I was younger, I followed Man United, right? But that's because all my cousins were big into soccer and they were all big Man United fans and they were like, oh, follow Man United, you know, and I didn't have a clue about soccer.
You're literally listing my childhood here, like,
yeah,
it's the exact same thing.
And then I was like,
we've had this story.
and to be fair, that team are full of legends, like, you know, Schmeichel, Roy Keane, Beckham, all these fellas, like, you know, so I follow. But then, as I started to really get into soccer, I started to watch Chelsea, and there was one Champions League game that I really fell in love with them. It was 2 legs, Barcelona versus Chelsea in 2000, and I think Chelsea won the first one 3-1 at the Nou Camp or something, and then Barcelona won the second one 5-2.
Did Lampard score a goal in the Nou Camp that time?
No, he wasn't playing out this time. I think like this was 2000.
2 years before, like.
Yeah.
In 2000 was it?
2000, yeah.
It was like 04 or something when they got the money, or 03 or something.
Oh,
like
yeah.
They got the money in 04, I think, and like at that time they had Zola playing for them, they had Torre Andre Flo, they had Dennis Wise,
Flo,
Ed de Goy, they had Desai, you know, like they were a class team, and like people always say like, what about, I think it's unfair to begrudge Chelsea the success they have now, because to be fair to Chelsea, they were always up the top half though, like they were even when they didn't have the money. Like who you might begrudge is Man City, because they're just after coming out of nowhere. But Chelsea were like, even like, I don't know, do you ever hear this story? I don't know is it real or not, like, but supposedly when Abramovich was going buying, he went to London and he was supposed to buy Tottenham supposedly.
I'll go away.
But he was happened to be driving past Chelsea, and he said, "What's that club in there?" "Oh, that's Chelsea. They just after qualifying for the Champions League." And if you remember, it was the last game of the season to beat Liverpool to get the top 4. And then he ended up buying Chelsea supposedly rather than Tottenham because they had the Champions League the following year.
Jeez.
So I think Chelsea are a good old club, you know, and
they're my seasons,
club, you know, so it can be gutting at times to batter them on social media. But look, if you're going to batter United and Liverpool, you have to be fair and you have to piss out of all of them, like, you know.
And do you think they'll qualify this year for the Champions League?
I think they're outsiders now, like, you know. I think they've made a balls with now, like obviously losing to Watford and Bournemouth was a disaster, but against Man City at the weekend was a disgrace, like, you know. I don't know if you watched that, and the big letdown's been Morata, like, hasn't it, really? You know, he started well, like, you know, he had a few goals there. The first 10 games, we'll say, like, really good start. He's like Diego Costa, but he was right to let go of Diego Costa, because Costa wanted to go to China in the middle of the season last year. And like, if you're going to do stuff like that, just good luck.
He was a bit of a head case anyway.
He sounded like he was, even when they won what did they win recently in last year, was it?
What did they win? They won the Premier League, sure.
That time, and he was in the celebrations, he was fucking sticking his fingers up fellas' arses and everything, like, you know,
grinded him in the dressing room.
I did like him though, because like, everyone called him an asshole up front, like, you know, but that's what you wanted. Like, he was a pain in the ass for defenders, like, you know.
He was on the edge. Like.
He was a bit like Suarez, like, just aggressive up top, like,
Suarez is aggressive, right? Yeah.
Like, you see the meme I thought it was very funny of like Costa kicking fellas, hurting fellas, and then Morata blow drying his girlfriend's hair. So, but that's the difference between the two, you know. So.
And I think as well, like, going back to the BenchWarmers, is that a lot of people just see the post go online, but they don't know the work that goes behind it. Like, they just think it's like anyone can do it, like, just post it on social media, but it's a 24/7 job. Like
I'm obsessed with it, like, you know, like it's not a job that everyone can do, you know. Like, you have to, like, first off, you have to be into your sport big time. You have to love social media. You have to be able to work on a team. You have to have Photoshop skills and video editing skills, you know, and you need to know what works, you know. So like, not everyone can do it. Like, we've had fellas come along and they failed, like, you know. And that's like, it's like, we've had fellas and we've had to let them go, and it's not personal. It's just, look, it wasn't the right fit, like, you know. But even like, sure, as I said, like, you get some, like, well, like you can see now, journalism is changing rapidly. Like like I don't call myself a journalist. I'm just someone that's into sports and posts about it.
Like
and
broadcasting it online.
yeah, and it's work for me. So happy days. But like journalism, it can be a very snobby game. Like, let's be honest. Like there are certain, and like there'll be some people they look down on us, and it's fair enough. But we're just into sports and we love what we're doing. Like and like it's changing rapidly. Like one fella said to me when I went to the Examiner first, as a laugh, he said like he was this fella in his 50s or 60s, and he was writing hurling for the Echo, and he was like, well, we're dinosaurs on the Titanic, because like these boys didn't have a Twitter or anything, like the smart journalist, like I know it's hindsight's a great thing, but the smart journalist would have seen what was coming and would have really built up his presence online, because like do you buy newspapers anymore? Like I don't buy a paper,
years,
so and it's like you buy it and it's all news, like the only reason you buy it now is for the article, maybe, just to read about the match or something, like,
Sure, it's almost the same with telly. Like, who sits down anymore to watch?
The only thing I watch now on TV is Match
Offenders.
and The Young Offenders, but you can watch Derp on YouTube as well. Like, I watch one of them on YouTube, but like it's all I watch is the match now, or use Netflix, on
it's
YouTube
Netflix
basically.
on YouTube,
But it's changing rapidly, like as I said, like I think everyone's going to get caught out. Like you even take the Champions League, like remember Champions League final last year, they gave it away for free on YouTube.
That's true.
And like I think and like everyone can fast forward the ads, and like I think eventually, like you see in America, they do extra time thanks to Snickers. Like I think they're going to have to work out ways to make money in it. Like you watch the Super Bowl and they have an ad every 2 minutes. I think that's how they're going to have to do it, because I think eventually, like you can see, everyone watches these streams on illegal sites. I think like, to be honest with you, you'd wonder in a few years, is anyone going to have a job? But like what I think is for me, in time to come, there'll be two types of people that'll have a job: people that either have their own company, or people that have skills that are needed for a company, because if you're like you can see now, like I worked in a call center, but if you look at like the Google, Facebook, all these ones, they don't have call centers. You can't reach them, so like if you're just doing it, you can go into Tesco now and they've self-automated machines, so like if I was a young person listening to this, as I said, I'd try and get into something you want to do and pursue it, or else get a skill that will be valuable, because as I said, you'd wonder, will any of us have jobs? Like you can see now, sure, Uber, if you go abroad anywhere, like you can see the taxi drivers are fighting that big time coming into Ireland, but it's going to come eventually. And when that comes, it's just going to wipe out the taxis. And that's why, to be fair, a lot of the journalists, they wouldn't be the biggest fans of us, because we're after, like, put it yourself, if you did journalism in UCC, did a master's in journalism, and then you started writing in the paper, and then all of a sudden paper sales started to go down big time. Then all the online stuff started to take off, and then these two clowns come in and start putting up boobs in football all day. It's all right, like, but like, but it's just changing, like,
Times
like,
are changing,
you just have to keep with it, like, so. But that's what we try and do, like,
Live is massive as well, I think, isn't it? Like, because the Facebook and Instagram, they'll prioritise live videos, and you get your notification if you're following them that it's gone live and everything. So there's massive viewership in it, like,
But it's unreal, like it's always about thinking in new ways and doing it. Like what I love now as well is, when you go to the cinema and they've the ads on before the cinema, they think they actually have you at the cinema, that you have to sit through the ads, but you can see it, everyone's out with their phone. But like traditional advertising is gone out the window, it's all about thinking in new ways how to do it. Like I remember Toyota brought out an ad a few years ago, and it had Paul O'Connell and Katie Taylor on it, and everyone loved it, and like it just had one or two scenes of a Toyota car, but everyone remembers it because of the two of them. It was well done, and that's what it's all about. Like, sure, we all remember the Budweiser ad as well. Remember what was it? What's up?
Like,
like that was Budweiser, wasn't it?
Like beers.
Like whoever came up with that marketing thing deserves a serious pay rise. So, but that's what you're always trying to do, really, like, So.
Always bring in the next incentive, because I think Toyota again have brought in an app now that if you log into the app and face your phone down, you gain points or something.
While driving,
while driving, so it's an incentive to get people off their phone driving. Like, you get free coffee now in Topaz and stuff just by doing it. And
it's good PR for them as well, or it's good social responsibility that, like, you know, you're promoting people to drive safer and all that. Like,
straight away they're grabbing millennials there, like, who are on their phone, love coffee. I know Nev doesn't drink it, like.
Speaking to the wrong man.
But no, that's genius, like, you know. Yeah. So like, it's all about, and I can see now, the GA now, they've moved away. They don't want any betting associates now for 2018. Which is great too, but it might be good for us then. Like, it might come to the websites to advertise. But like, no, but you have to, like, probably betting is probably the worst thing you can do, because when you think like drinking, you can only drink so much, and then your body says that's enough, like, you know. Yeah. But like betting, you can keep going till your last cent is gone.
Absolutely.
You know? Exactly. So, but like, I suppose just life is all about balance, really, like, isn't it? Like, you know. So there's no point, like, geez, I lost 100 quid there last week. I backed France in the accumulator, or no, I backed France to beat Italy by more than 17 points. Like, and Christ, like, typical French, like, they should have scored about 10 tries, but then they lost, I think, by 16 points. Like, so I lost 100 quid. But there's nothing wrong with having a bet, or there's nothing wrong with having a drink, as long as it's all
responsible.
Exactly. You know, so you know.
Yeah, and with on the live thing as well, would you have any reservations happening behind the camera live or anything like that?
I would, but you know, like, it's the way it is, I suppose. You know, like, to be honest with you, I probably kind of started it because I know it's something I started up BenchWarmers initially to try and get into journalism and into sports and stuff. Yeah. Because if I said, like, I suppose, like, you know, like I think you're onto something there with Frankie Nuts. I'm not just saying it. And even if it comes to nothing, it's nice to do it, you know.
Yeah, it's
like the chemistry seems good between you, you know. So like
sometimes
off camera.
He's a prick.
But like
can't even get the guest names right.
I know, we firing you.
Well, like, what I'm saying is that I set it up initially to, like, look, if nothing else comes of it, I can always have it on the CV and use it to try and get into journalism. So like, it's the same as you with Frankie Nuts. Like, if nothing ever comes of it, it's something impressive on the thing, you know, that you can go into something.
But I'd add to it as well, the live thing, that is, like, it's, you know, people probably don't do it as much because it's probably daunting or whatever, like, but like, even this podcast here now, like, I don't think there's anything happened so far that would be edited out, like, you know, this is as if it's a live podcast, like, so it's not too bad, like, you know, even, but, like, I know we are, like.
Even sure, I was saying to you off here, hopefully I don't say the wrong thing now and it'll go viral, like, you know, but sure, like, as I said, like, we're chatting here and you wouldn't know the cameras are there, it's just three guys having a chat. Like,
exactly, that's what our whole kind of ethos as well, like, you know, that's what we want to achieve with it, like. Yeah,
no, that's the way to do it, really, like, because I think, like, if you look at the Late Show now, I don't want to be battering that, like, but that's gone away with the times, like, you know, like, I think everyone admits that now, like, you know, like, and if you compare that to Graham Norton's it's just so laid back and it's so enjoyable, whereas, like, they're on a couch, Graham Norton's just on a seat and it's just an open chat. I think Tuberty, like, he's behind the desk, he's in a suit, it's way too formal, you know, and like, the show's way too long as well, you know, whereas Graham Norton's an hour and it's out the door.
And Graham Norton's guests are usually, like, up here. And
he's magic as well, Norton, like, you know.
Yeah, he's good.
And even the way they have the red chair thing or whatever, you know, where they, you know, those little concepts, like.
People tune in more for Norton than the guests, like. And he's a Cork man as well, I suppose.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah.
But like, well, like, that's why Graham Norton's such a success, is because it's the personality he brings to it, like. Like, people nearly watch it for him more than the guests.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Like, that's what we try and do at BenchWarmers, like, is that, you know, the posts and some of the banter that we put up, you know, is that they come on and they like it for our personality and our banter, you know, that, like, that's, like, I remember, I think that's 90% of, like, of the success of it, you know, it's the people behind it driving it, you know, that's why it's so good. That's, like, the same as you with Frankie Nuts, like, if people like it, it'll be a success and it'll take off, whereas to think the two of you are pricks that turn off, like, you know?
We know that's all, it doesn't go anywhere, we're dickheads. Can I ask as well, I saw a YouTuber yesterday, Jack Mid, I don't know if you ever saw him now, but he tweeted saying that he kind of took a break from YouTube basically because his videos, he's dark humour, like, but he was saying a lot of people are taking offence to what he says, and we're living in a world today where
he's
people
very on the edge though.
That people take offence to almost anything, like. Do you find that now, like, if you're posting that?
Who's that now?
Jack Mates, his name. He's like a YouTuber. He does like little comedy sketches and like a podcast now himself. But he took a break because he said people are just
Too
easily
insensitive,
offended these days.
Oh, geez, like there's too many. What's the word? Too many snowflakes.
Yeah,
nowadays,
exactly.
Like, you know, everything is scrutinised. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like even like I saw this. Like, I don't know, should I be saying this? Like, but like you obviously everyone's following the Paddy Jackson trial at the moment. You know, and like there was this one. They tried to get a hashtag trending there a few weeks ago. Rory Best, not my captain. You know, and like they were saying the way he wouldn't comment on the trial and the way what else did he say? But like. And the way he turned up to the trial. But first off, you can't comment on an ongoing trial, you know.
Yeah.
It's his buddy at the end of the day, and let's be honest, like he's not, like he's not guilty yet, you know. So the way, so like, but people are ready to judge him online straight away, like, you know, and like, but like, like. To move away from that, like, but like people are way too sensitive now, like, you know. And like, as I said, if I make a joke with the tree in a pub, like, you know, and I say the wrong thing, what about it? We get over it.
It's a great analogy, actually,
like, but like, you say something online now, and people are just ready to jump down your throat, like, you know. And, but it's amazing what people are saying on a keyboard compared to saying to your face. Like, there's one fella like there, and like, I shouldn't even be giving him the time now, like, you know. But this fella, he's been cutting the back off us for like how, and I don't even know this fella, like, you know, but like he's a sports journalist as well, you know. And I was in Wilton there on Monday, and I saw him, and he looked at me like, and it was just like, but like, if you got a problem, come up and say it to me, like, you know? I prefer that than having a go off me on social media. And sure, look, if he wants to have a cut off me after this, he's more welcome. But like, but look, it's the way of the world, like, you know. People are more willing to say stuff on their keyboard rather than come up to your face, and like but even like it's amazing, like I'd be telling like the lads I live with now at home, like they're always on their phones every evening, like, you know, and I'd say something to them and they wouldn't hear it half the time, and I'd be like, yeah, sure, look, I'll tag it for you, and then you might pay heed rather than telling you, like, but it's just changed, like, even you can see now WhatsApp groups, like, that's where the conversations had on WhatsApp now, where like everything's gone online when you think of it, you know.
It's crazy,
Like, what's the plan going forward? How would you grow BenchWarmers on yourself? Like,
it's a good question, really. Like,
I know you said you're learning every day yourself, and
we're hoping to keep the numbers keep going up the whole time, you know. But eventually, I'd look maybe to turn into something tangible. Like, I'd love maybe one day to turn. I was thinking turn into a sports bar. You know, wouldn't it be great? Like, you know, like you've all these followers, and like you could turn into a sports bar. So like we've, as I said, if you include our Facebook pages and our Instagram and Twitter, we've 3 or 4 million people following us. So you could still keep it a website, but you could have a bar, and people be like, oh, let's go down to BenchWarmers to watch the match. We might get put up on their social media or whatever.
And would the vision be to have like kind of memorabilia of like big moments in sports or kind of things like that? Like a bit of a sports shrine or something, like, you know,
Chelsea corner maybe.
Like, but then again, like, Chelsea corner. But then the other thing is, like, you'll be saying to yourself, like, a bar can be tough work, like, you know. And like at the moment, we're doing fine online, so why would you bring that on yourself? You know? But then at the same time, if you stand still, you'll go backwards, like, you know. So you have to keep thinking in new ways of moving it forward. And the way the whole thing is changing rapidly, you know, you'd wonder, eventually, will this all online stuff, will you be able to make money on it? Eventually, will it just dry up, you know? Because, to be honest with you, I don't think there's that many people online making big money, you know. Like, all right, there's a few, like, you know, but it's just like, it's great having a big following and everything, but it can be tough to make money out of it at times as well, like, you know.
I believe so.
But like, you just have to play it by ear, really, like, you know, and hopefully, like as I said, we're going to start in the live Facebook videos now, like I'd have goals and objectives for 2018, and like, you know, one was the live Facebook video, the other is to try and, like, we've the biggest GA page on Facebook now the aim is to make the biggest GA account on Instagram, to make the biggest rugby page on Facebook. Like, there's always different things and new ways you're trying to do it the whole time, you know, and just try and get out there ahead of the posse, you know? So, and
I don't mean to be jumping all over the place now, but you made a very good point earlier about the GA players and how they're so approachable and they are stars and stuff. And like, why do you think it is that they're kind of so approachable? Is it because it's an amateur sport and kind of?
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, the GAA get shafted in a lot of ways. Like, we were only talking off air there. Like, I better give Sunday as well a shout out. You know?
Shout out to the boys.
Yeah, I play with Sunday as well there, and like, we get our fixtures every August, September, and we have them for the year ahead. So like, it's great. We can make plans.
Work around it, like.
Yeah, you know. Whereas you only said to me there offline that like that it's the first time you can go in a holiday in the summer. And how long? You know, like, that's not fair. And that's why fellas are getting sick shit of the GA and they're backing it up. Like, like there was. Is it Michael Shields? Was it? He gave up football and he's only 31 or something, like, you know. And like, talk about a talented footballer, like, you know. But like, fellas have too much going on, and if the GA were just fair with him, like, I think what they need to do is, the fixture is the biggest challenge the GA have, like, you know. They need to, whether you're from Donegal, Cork, Louth, Laois, wherever, this should be inter-county weekend, this should be club weekend, and that's it. They probably need to get rid of the replays and the draws as well, but they need to be fair to everyone, and they need to look after the young players as well. Like, you see David Clifford now, he's in under 18 squads, under 21 squads, everything, you know, and that you're going to burn them out, like, you know. And like, if you're a young fella, you want to play in every game under the sun, but they shouldn't be allowed. There should be
they need someone there to say. Yeah,
you know. But I think, like, and then the next thing is, like, I think eventually in the next few, maybe in my lifetime anyway, the GA will have to go professional, you know, because like,
the commitment to players.
But you can see the way Dublin are pushed. Dublin are a big problem now, because everyone's sponsored Dublin and they're pushing so far ahead. Like, if Louth play Dublin, or if Carlow play Dublin in the morning, sure, they don't have a hope in hell, like, because it's like with all due respect to the boys in Carlow, like, they probably put in the shift, but they just don't have the same backing as Dublin do, you know. But it's and then like, but then I think there needs to be a whole load of, like, the final point they make about GAs like that. Yeah, we got, what's brilliant about them though is, like, they're so approachable, and we got homegrown stars literally on your doorstep that you can go to. You know, but like, I think there needs to be more collective thinking across all the sports organisations in this country. Like, we'll just take Cork for example, right? You got Turner's Cross, you got Musgrave Independent Park, and you got Park Equive. 3 stadiums in the city. Like, there is no need for that. If you ask me, they should have built one big stadium, probably where Turner's or Independent Park is, because you can get in off the link and get in and out, and it's not far from the city. And the rugby, GA, soccer should all be running out of the one stadium, like, you know, because like, when you think of it, like, like, you look at Park Equive, lovely brand new stadium, lovely, right? It's only going to be used once or twice a year, like, you know. And when I mean used, I mean it's only going to be full once or twice in the summer, right? Because like, you can throw the club games on in Parky Ring, you know. So like, I think there needs to be more collective thinking across the board, and I think that's probably why we missed out on the Rugby World Cup as well, because we're probably wasting money on building these stadiums when they're going to be empty, whereas we could be doing a lot more with the money, you know. So and like, I suppose one final thing I might have at GA is like I remember the government gave them a load of money for Park Equive, but sure, like, let's be honest, like, the GA don't have to pay their players, so like, the GA should have plenty of money, like, you know. So I don't see why we should be giving them money, like, you know, like, that's just my. Like, if you're going to give money, give it to the players. You know? That's you know,
because the coaches are getting paid now. Like, you know, your average coach there in the club is getting 150 a session, kind of thing. Like, you know, or whatever. Like,
the players are getting shafted. Like, you know, there's no doubt about it. Like, you know, but look, you hope, like, as I suppose as it gets bigger, but they need to fix out. Like, I know now they're trying to Super Ace this summer, aren't they? And they're trying to clear up the whole championship. But they need to come up with a structure that works for it. Like, even you take Joe Cannon now, again, we'll go back to well, like,
your buddy.
But if you go back to Joe Cannon, right, probably one of the best hurlers ever, right? Well, he's definitely up there anyway, you know. He won the All-Ireland last year. We only probably saw him 4 times on the TV, you know. Like, if you're a young fella, you're seeing Messi every week on the TV, right? You're seeing Johnny Sexton every second week, right? If you're a young fella, what sport are you going to play, like, you know? Like, they need to get, like, these players, like Joe Cannon and Brendan Mahers and a few of these fellas, they're the shop front of the GA. They need to be getting them out more, and we need to be seeing more of them, like, you know. So that'd be my
some interesting points you made there. Absolutely. Any more?
No. What I want to ask is MMA. Do you have a big interest in that yourself, or?
I don't know, should I say this? Like, but I do look. I respect the discipline it has, And like, look, one thing that I find is funny about our website as well is that I love the banter on it. Like, you know, I love winding up the Liverpool and United fans and all that. But like, like one thing I do find funny is as well, like the one sport, like combat sports, every fella's an expert in it. Like,
they all have it.
But like,
you had that scrap in your 17 downtown,
you know, every fella has an opinion on it. Like, you know, like it's funny the different fans as well. Like, you know, like the rugby are seen as the full of shit brigade. Like, you know, they are like the GA then is seen as the countryman's game really. Like, you know, and the soccer then is kind of seen as the working man's game. Like, you know, and like MMA and UFC is kind of like that too. Like, you know, but like. I do think like I love watching it, like, but being honest with you, I'd much prefer boxing, like, you know, because I think if a fella hits the deck, you should be allowed to get up, like, you know. Like that's just my, like, I think
it's a bit ruthless, right? In the
there's been some recently there that have been
did you even get up to Rockhold one there, the Romero? Do you know, was it Romero and Rockhold recently there in Australia? And there's an uppercut in it, and it should be illegal, like. But that's where it's dangerous then in that sport, like.
Yeah. No, it's brutal, like, you know. It really is a cutthroat. It's if I had a young fella now, I wouldn't be advising them to go into it. You know. But even sure, if I had a young fella, and geez, you'd nearly be afraid to tell them to play rugby now as well at this stage, like, you know. It's just, if I had a young fella, I'd be telling them to play golf. You know, if some life, if you make it as a golfer, like,
get the clothes out, you're safe.
Spanish music,
Some nice music there now for us.
Zoom the knockouts in this video, surely, like. Is it?
I presume it's down the end, is it?
Something's around, skip forward. Oh, yeah, it's down the end.
It's just sickening.
Have you seen this one, Nev?
No.
It's like he catches him right. There, he's out there now, like, but it's just that follow up there, the left hook, like.
That's just, What, did he get badly injured from this? He did?
No, like
he was actually too. Like, he catches him here now. He sits up, but he's gone, like, you know.
It's that last one there.
Like
he'd know, like, his arms are there, and he's just sitting there, like, you know. And your man is jacked to the nines, like.
Even the third one up there, like, after the fight, Romero goes over to him, like, and Rockhold is kind of a bit daisy, like. And Romero's kissing him, like, you know, saying, good fight. But Rockhold didn't even know what countries he's in, like.
But the thing is, like, you nearly have to, like, the last punch he got in there probably wasn't needed. But then you have to finish the fella off too.
That's it, like, do you know, we were talking on a podcast before, but when you're trained for that, like, do you know, as soon as they drop, you're going in to finish them, like, do you know, until the ref stops you, you're going, like.
Show no mercy, because no mercy will be shown on you, like.
Exactly,
you know? You know,
that's a fair point.
No, it's a great sport, great discipline, but for me, boxing has a bit more class in it, like, you know. Like, but look, it's gotten huge here, like, sure. In fairness, Ireland, we're a great country jumping on the bandwagon.
We're the best supporters around, like, you know. Go along and have a piss up.
Like, sure, geez, like, it's funny now, you see how big rugby's gone, like, you know, but, like, it's gone big in terms of spectator-wise, like, you know, because everyone's, like, I went out to watch the Munster match in Independent Park there last week or the week before, and the amount of fellas out there that I know have never played rugby in their life, like, you know, but they're all on it now because, when rugby falls, but I don't think rugby's gone so strong now. Like, because the reason it's got so strong is because of the system they set up, like, you know, like, it's so good, like, you know, like, I think the soccer probably need to clean up their system and they might see benefits from it, like, you know, but like if rugby ever went down, the supporters would fall off big time as well, like, you know, it's all about, like, we're back in glory hunter.
That's why we all support Man United till we were 5 or 6, like, before.
So.
I didn't.
Sure.
Never support them, boy.
Liverpool through and through.
Even they've never won a Premier League in my lifetime, like, but they might never either, like.
Jared nearly did
it, nearly, No, it was. You should have won it that year. You mean, like, it was an awful shame you didn't. Well, it wasn't really for me, like, it's still, like, as I said, when two of the lads at home, they support Arsenal, you know, and like they're like, oh, Wenger, he's out, like, you know, and I said, well, as administrator of BenchWarmers, I hope Wenger stays there till his last breath. You know, like, you know, but it's the same, like, with Liverpool, that they didn't win the league, because, like, all the jokes are like, you can always get them the last time Liverpool won the league. This was a mobile phone, you know, and all that, like, you know. So
you've never heard the end of it if they won it, like, you know. We all.
It was funny, actually, like, I was talking to Bill Cooper, I remember, a few years ago. I love this story, like, actually, my claim to fame there as well is myself and Bill were baptised the same day.
Oh, go ahead.
And they said he needed some bucket of water that day. But, what was funny was I remember he telling me like playing hurling with Yall that there's a load of Liverpool fans in the Yall group, and every week they were like, we're going to do it, lads, we'll win the league, And the minute Gerard slipped, silence on the WhatsApp group, but that's the fun of it, it's just, it's funny the banter, and then, because you see the comments on the page every week going, oh, I'm sick of this shit, fucking anti-Liverpool page, anti-United fan page, I'm unfollowing this shit, but yet they're back every week,
Yeah.
But sure, look, it's only banter and it's only good crack, so it's not to get too bogged down.
So I think Wenger came out and said he's not going to leave anyway in the summer.
What's new, sure?
He's too stubborn. He's too stubborn.
He can change it, he said, but I think the board should sack him, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah, but
summer.
They don't care. The club is making money.
That's the bottom line, I suppose.
And to be fair, what he's done. Well, look, the first 10 years were unbelievable what he did, but the last 10 years have gone down big time, And if he'd any dignity, really, he would step down, but it'll be up to him when he steps down, So, but he should,
It's always great tuning into Testing Fan TV after the game,
They've made a killing off it, But
your man Robbie's coining it,
Yeah, man. But he's good too, I like Robbie, he's a good presenter doing it, But but you saw there. The full-time Devils, Man United had one as well, and that was flying when David Moyes was.
Your man Andy Tate.
Andy Tate,
Moyes.
Give it to Giggsy till But when Arsenal turn into a success, their views will go way down. So if I was it's funny the way they're giving out, but Finger and the club's demise has turned them into a massive success.
Exactly.
So, but look, every club has their time, really. Everything goes up and down, and it's good to see too, But there's so much money in it now, the likes of Man United, they're too big a brand to ever go down now at this stage. I'd say they'll always be a top 4 club now. They'll always up around the top half,
Definitely,
Yeah.
I think it's gone ridiculous now at this stage of money, I think a few years back when David Luiz went for 50 million as a centre half, it kind of made a bit of a shift in it, and then Jesus Christ,
Neymar's just
Pogba, what was that, a year and a half ago? That was massive, and sure, what's probably the third or fourth highest transfer, it's gone to a new level altogether.
Going to Barcelona,
Real Madrid up to all their buyout clauses to $1 billion and stuff and all this.
I don't know what they're going to do, because but it's all supply and demand as well, everyone wants to watch soccer, and there's such a huge demand in it, even I was listening there, Bournemouth, what's the capacity of their stadium, 20,000?
20,000,
But they actually, fans are becoming, they make all the money from TV rights, So, fans are really, obviously they want to get money too, but it's the TV money is way more valuable to them, So, it's changing the whole time. One thing I hope Chelsea do ASAP is to up their stadium, because you would know Abramovich could walk in the morning, and at least if they've the stadium, massive stadium, at least they'll be getting in bigger spectators and more people, So
more room to wave the plastic fans in there.
Jesus.
There's plenty of them too, to be fair, So,
brilliant.
Have you anything to ask before we wrap up? Or?
Don't think so, really.
He has to get home for the
Champions
League. He's busy out.
As I said, what I'd say is what I'd say before when I started, is that I don't often do these things, but I'm happy to do it for you, because I said I like to hide behind the brand. Well, not really hide behind it, but I just don't like putting a face to it, because it's all about BenchWarmers rather than me or the other two lads that run it. But I'm happy to do it for you, because I think obviously we're 3 Corkonians here, No, but I think there's be some stuff there, and there'd be a lot of talks as well. You'd see them and people just want to go up and blow their own trumpet, Whereas this is just I see there people giving talks at breakfasts and stuff, look, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with them too, but there's some people and they're going up and they're whereas this is just nice, we're having a chat, and that's the way it should be,
a lot of people, they talking about themselves and stroking their own ego, and
to be honest with you, to be honest, I got it, for me, the bread and butter is running the website the whole time, these stuff like these are just a nice little added bonus, but for me, the bread and butter is what I do, and that's what the focus should be on, I think some fellas they get carried away doing way too many talks, like, you know.
Yeah.
And like, but as I said, it's nice to do it, and I wish you every success in your Frankly Nuts, and keep getting the guests, lads, like, you know. So
thanks,
We
William.
appreciate it, yeah.
Sure,
Thanks
lads.
for
Yeah, and anybody watching, check out BenchWarmers. Like, they're not short of followers. So,
Yeah,
you know,
we'll leave the links down
I
below.
don't know how
Yes,
many we
we
can give them, but
we always, no matter how many followers we have, we still appreciate more, and we still appreciate more likes.
Exactly.
Right? So,
brilliant stuff.
We'll drop the links down below and you can check them out if you haven't already seen them. I'm sure the majority of people will have.
Absolutely.
But if you've liked the video, give it a like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.
See you later,
Take it
guys.
easy.
Hey everybody, so we really hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Franklin Nuts podcast. As we're still a young podcast trying to grow, we just want to ask you guys one favour. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. You can also hit the bell if you're feeling cheeky. You get a notification once a week when the podcast comes out. If you're watching on Facebook, drop us a like. If you're feeling cheeky, hit us a share. That'd be brilliant. And also, you can check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud also. Thanks guys.